Welcome and thank you for choosing True Grit, the show about what it really takes to rise, rebuild, and stay the course when life hits hard. I'm Kalish, a coach, storyteller, and believer in the kind of strength you can't fake. Around here, we talk about real people, real stories, and the lessons that shape us, from resilience and mindset to health and healing, because grit isn't about grinding harder, it's about who you become when you don't quit. Let's get into it. Hello and welcome to True Grit's Savor, a season of ease, which is my special holiday podcast for these little mini episodes I'm dropping all throughout the season through the rest of the year. These are short episodes, about 10, 15 minutes of very potent things that you can implement into your life as we go through the holiday season so that we can actually really enjoy the holiday season to its fullest. This is not a magic pill that everything's going to be perfect. I can't promise that. However, I can help support you with some of the things that I have learned and through some of the methodologies that I want to pass on along to you. So the things that I'm going over in these episodes is going to be, yes, about fitness. It's going to be about nutrition. We're going to work on a little bit of that mindset, that intention setting and mindfulness and roadblocks, and as well as the lifestyle aspect of it too. As a former interior designer, I know how much of our environment really impacts us and then how we live in it as well. So tying this all together, there's been a recent revelation for myself that with everything that I have been teaching and how passionate about all these other aspects, I have decided that lifestyle coach is probably a more appropriate term for what I do because it is all holistic, all encompassing things that I'm passionate about that really helps you level up, really. And so the through line with all of these episodes is basically getting us head start rather than doing a start over when we get to January. That is what happens a lot though. When we hit January 1st, that's okay, now I'm going to be the best version of myself. And you think about everything that you didn't get done the year before. Everything's going to be different. And for a small percentage of people, they can carry that momentum on. They can get out of their own way and see real results the next year. However, I do find a lot of times, especially when it comes to our health and nutrition, that we let it all fall apart within just a few short weeks. There's just a common joke amongst personal trainers and people who are even gym rats where, they just hold on until February. The gym will be completely empty by then and you can go back to your regularly scheduled program. But we don't want to be that person. We don't want to let ourselves down. We're worthy of moving forward and seeing dramatic results in our life that we weren't maybe seeing the year before. But the best way to do that is to already create the momentum before the end of the year. So even if we just kind of coast through the holidays, I'd rather us coast through than backslide and then have to keep going. So it's whatever your goal is for the season, set that intention, but know that you don't have to be starting over at the beginning of the year. And this is not a time to go ahead and rest on our nutrition or fitness and feeling good. If we can feel good in our bodies, we can be more present with the rest of the whole holiday spirit. So that said, I would like to start this episode with talking about intentions. So setting our intentions. Sit for a moment and think about your goals for the rest of this season. What do you want to see happening? How do you want to feel? How do you want your family to feel as we go through this? How do you want to show up better than you did last year? So write down those goals and then backtrack from there. Set little goals that help you get there. One of the common things, it's something I do all the time that I want to make sure I don't do this year, is get a head start on my Christmas shopping. Every single year, I have found myself wrapping every single one of the Christmas gifts on Christmas Eve. And we have a very full Christmas Eve. And to be now dealing with that last minute is something I don't want to do. So I'm backtracking. What do I need to do in order to avoid that? Well, okay, I need to get a head start on the Christmas shopping. And then maybe set a date, not maybe, because I'm working through this with you, but setting a date by having a majority of them all done. I'm not saying that I will have everything done before the last week before Christmas, but that's going to be my goal, is to at least have a majority of it, because if I only have to wrap 1 or 2 gifts, oh my God, that's a huge win for me this year compared to how it's been in the past. So I'm looking at things that are within our control, our emotions, and our actions as well. So now let's talk about things that are outside of our control. Let's look at what things are usually the roadblocks that come up. For a lot of people, it's going to be family, friends. It's a time that people get sick. And that's also where the nutrition and the fitness come into play. Quite honestly, we let ourselves kind of go. We don't take care of ourselves as well. So we're even more apt to be sick during this time when our immune systems are already taxed, because we don't get enough sunlight during this time. We don't get enough vitamin D to support ourselves. And then we put all this other stressors and bad nutrition and bad fitness on top of it. And it's just this perfect storm for us to get sick. So, how about we do our best to avoid it? We can also start looking at how we approach these things, these setbacks, and kind of having to learn how to go with the how to roll with the punches, so to speak. So, two biggest things that come up for me when it comes to this is reframes and gratitude. And sometimes they go hand in hand. So the reframe might be, oh my God, everything's so crazy and we've got so much going on, and I just don't know if I can keep all this under control. The reframe for that would be, how lucky are we that we have so many people in our lives that really truly appreciate us and that want us around, and that there are things that we can provide for others. With the holiday shopping, being thankful that we can provide for our families. And quite honestly, if it is one of those slim Christmases where you really can't afford much, it is realizing that you have that family around you, those friends around you that you can really cherish, and thinking about that so much the gifts are those things that are truly important, or is it this other thing? I mean, we've all watched The Grinch Who Stole Christmas. It's one of our favorite ones. Jim Carrey, I think that one's the best one. So we can argue with that. But I think about how it is for Thanksgiving. That's not a gift holiday. That is about all of us being together and enjoying a meal. And so I think rolling into these situations, it's all about setting expectations as well. And so it's not really my intention to go down the rabbit hole of the haves or have-nots situation. I've just seen so many different situations, been in different situations myself, just to say that really what it comes down to that's really important is the people that's around you. As Hallmark movie as that sounds, that it really is what's important. I watched a friend have to navigate when she lost her daughter, and just weeks before Christmas. And what truly made it special was everybody showing up and being together and loving on one another. That's what helped everybody get through that holiday season and bring that togetherness. So again, that just goes back to the reframe. What's important to you? There's so many crazy things that can happen. And when we take that moment to pause and think about how much we really have and how much we actually do have to offer, a lot of times that is enough. So the reframe is really important, and you get to that reframe by pausing and thinking about these things and seeing where you can be grateful and really thinking outside the box of what you can be grateful for. It might even just be, I'm so happy that I have a working car and gas to drive the hours to go see my friends and family, that I have the means to go and do that, or that they have the means to come and see me. It's this reframe that's coupled with gratitude that can make all the difference. And it's something that I have been practicing myself. And I do believe that if you are able to become more adaptive, to be able to roll with the punches and go with the changes, that makes a big difference too. There was one Thanksgiving a while back. My dad had just been diagnosed with cancer, and it wasn't looking good. He did die 3 years later, but we didn't know how much time that we had with him. So we were all kind of scattered around in different states. So we made sure that, and we really weren't in the practice of going and visiting my father for Thanksgiving, but we knew that we just wanted to make the most out of the time that we still had left with him. So my siblings and I, my mom, we all rented a house near him so we could be near him. But what came up though was that the day of Thanksgiving, my step family was already planning on having him there. I mean, yeah, I've been part of it where personalities just don't jive. And to have this whole blended family experience just really wasn't on the table, just to put it really succinctly. So, at first it was really disappointing that that's how that was going. We were making this huge effort and we could have made it all about us. It could have been, well, we're doing these things and we rented this house and we're putting out this money and, we never see him for Thanksgiving. So we could have made it all about ourselves. Instead, though, we thought about him. We were doing this for him. Let's not make this stressful. Let's not make anything personal. This is just a situation. Everybody's got their own feelings around this. So what we decided was, you know what? Rather than overcomplicate things, we're going to be here for a few days. He goes and does his normal Thanksgiving with the step family. And the next day, we do something on our side of the family with him. So we did some things. And honestly, I'm blanking on what we even, I think we still did kind of like a mini Thanksgiving dinner the night of Thanksgiving. We had some other friends from the area that came in and visited, and we had a lovely time at the place that we were renting. And it was the next day that I went over to one of our other family members' house. And because there's so many of us, I had already brought all the tablescapes. I am so going to get into that topic actually in a future episode because tablescapes are my love language. Yes, I'm an interior designer and aesthetics means a lot to me because of how much it can anchor in the moment. Again, I'm going to put that off to the side, but I brought all of the stuff to make it still feel very warm and inviting. And we set tables up outside, Southern California, so we get to do that. And I laid out the tablescapes. We brought all the food with us from the rental. We had already prepared it, so we weren't messing up the other kitchen. And we sat down and we had a really lovely meal. And then we still had more of the weekend to go and see more of our friends and family as well. But you can see that in that moment, that could have been so contentious, but really was it worth it? That's one day. We put a title on one day, yet there are many days in that weekend that we can go and make this work for everybody and not make it this big contentious thing. I think that when we get into these holidays, we want to force our will upon the situation. And then that's when things start falling apart. But anchor into why is this important? In that situation, the why was it important was that we got to see our dad and experience the holidays all together. That was the why. So we made it happen. Was it on the exact date that we wanted it? Did it go exactly the way that we originally wanted it to? No, it didn't. But was that really the big deal? Because now looking back, we have a beautiful memory of that whole time together. So that's just one story of many, but I want you to think about that as you go into this holiday season and really think about what is the most important thing about the season. Why are you doing the things that you're doing? Why is this important? And is there a way to improve upon it and at the same time not make it all about you, but more about the ultimate outcome and of figuring out ways to mitigate these other things that are bound to come up and find that flexibility. So that concludes the episode of the series. I hope you join me for the others, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday. Thank you so much for being here on True Grit. I truly appreciate it. If this episode sparked something in you, share it, subscribe, or leave a quick review. It helps more people find these conversations. For more ways to connect, head to true-grit.fitness or come say hi on Instagram at true.grit_bold.wellness. I'll see you next time with more stories, lessons, and a little bit of grit.